the deal, they said the person who brought the deal, Tony Elumelu, will collect 5% from the $12 billion. Meanwhile, they are using today's what do you call it? The cost of the barrel of crude oil. In 5 years' time, nobody knows what it's going to be like in 5 years' time. Okay, but using today's price means that 167 million barrels of crude oil will be $12 billion. Now, that $12 billion, this is how they will share it. It could be 24 billion. It could be $30 billion. Okay? But using today's price, 12 billion. So, Oando, Tony Elumelu, Afrexim, and others. So, Tony Elumelu will collect another 5% from that sale, okay, as his own share. Oando also, whoever was going to sell the crude oil for them, until they would tell me, whoever was going to sell the crude oil, they too will collect 10%. Now, you see, it was $3.3 billion they collected as loan, Abi. Now, the agreement is that 30% of 3.3 billion, they put that at somewhere around somewhere around the 1.6, $1.7 billion. So, Afrexim Bank is due to collect back. See the fraud, though. Afrexim Bank that gave them the loan is due to collect back about $5.3 billion in total, which is their 3.3 billion plus their interest. Okay, so they are due to collect back 5-something billion. So how come you are using 12 billion as collateral for the loan and interest of 5-something billion? Because there lies the devil. You see, those who are in the deal, the intention is not to pay back the loan. The intention is to have something to say. The reason why this oil block is no longer for Nigeria, Nigeria is using this oil block to pay back the debts of this loan, okay? The clearance for that, paving the way for it, is what they have done. So in 5 years' time, about 2-3 oil blocks in Niger Delta and across the areas, oil-producing areas, they will be designated to payment of this loan until the people will say, yeah, we have taken 167 million barrels now. So Nigeria no owe us money anymore. What do you think will happen? Is it not until when they say they have taken 167 million? Is it not when they say, oh, we have now paid the loan, that they will stop taking the oil? So they've already paved the way. If you want to know how Tifnumbu became the landlord of Lagos, now you are going to learn it. You will learn the process. This is how it happens. So legally, you can't take it from them because Nigerian government signed the deal. The deal that will eventually bring the whole thing back to the circle of Tifnumbu. But what did they do? What are they going to do with the 3.3 billion? At least there's nothing bad in taking loans, okay? Right? If the loan is meant to improve something and to help something, Abi, I'm asking you now, $3.3 billion loan. The one they have taken 2 billion and they have blown it. They are waiting for 1.3 billion now. They will blow it. You that will abuse me, call me name, and somehow have something to say. I'm asking you now, can you in truthfulness and in all honesty tell us, in case if we are just people who don't like them, it's because I don't like them. Fine, I don't like them. But you tell me, I am telling you now that they have confirmed receiving 2 billion and they are waiting for 1.3 billion. In your own mind, can you tell us what they used the $2 billion for? The one they collected in September. Can you say? Well, I can tell you. They said they needed the money to defend the Naira. You see, this artificial Naira is gaining movement. Naira is fighting back, and all that rubbish you are telling yourselves, right? Well, they said they wanted to use the money for it so as to make sure that Naira will not be exchanged for $2,000, 2,000 Naira to $1 or 5,000 Naira to $1. They didn't take the money and put it into generating electricity and distributing it or improving your power. Like if they took the $2 billion and they just invested in electricity, by now, you may have something to look forward to and say, we are waiting, the $2 billion was used to start the generation of extra 10,000 megawatt of electricity that will be added to, something you can point at and say, Mayego, shut up your mouth. This is what they use the $2 billion for. Apart from you trying to want to, defend your oppressors, this is a simple, clear case of conversation now. Do you know what they use the $2 billion for? Of course you don't. They used it to bribe these stupid people. They used the $2 billion to bribe the oil marketers so that when they told you that they removed subsidy and your petrol jumped from 167 naira to to 650 naira per liter, to justify it, to you, subsidy is gone. Okay? But it was now time for the oil marketers to access dollars. There was no dollars. And the ones available will make them to sell a liter of petrol to you for the cheapest you would have bought a petrol in Nigeria. When Tifnubu said subsidy was gone, the cheapest petrol you will buy in Nigeria per liter should be 1,500 naira. And I've told you this back then. I said it many times then, right? So they told you subsidy was gone. Then they took loan of $2 billion. Behind the scene, they started subsidizing dollars. Subsidy is gone on petrol, but dollar subsidy returned. That was what they used the $2 billion for. This Oponu, Ayerada people, these criminals. So they shared the money secretly to hold the oil marketers from increasing the petrol price. When you say subsidy is gone, that means you have no business with it anymore. But do you know the person where they import petrol to Nigeria? NNPC. Do you know the person who is paying subsidy for oil importation in Nigeria? NNPC. Do you know who they are paying the subsidy to bring petrol to Nigeria? NNPC. Look at the scam. NNPC, who is in charge of Nigeria's crude oil sale, has failed to remit the crude oil sale or give account of how much crude oil they are selling anymore. They don't say it anymore. Now, they are now acting as those who are saving Nigerians, okay? The NNPC that couldn't build or manage your refineries in Nigeria, right? So they are now paying, listen to this, this is NNPC, the one that is in charge of Nigeria crude oil, the one that is paying subsidy for importation of crude oil, using Nigerian crude oil sales, money from crude oil sale. They use the money to pay oil marketers to bring in petrol to Nigeria. So therefore, Nigeria has no money to share from crude oil per se, okay? So this is NNPC. Also, this is NNPC. For this NNPC, this one here is the NNPC that is paying for the importation of petrol. This is NNPC. The NNPC that is importing petrol, receiving money from this NNPC to bring in petrol subsidy, right? So the two of them are like posting to the Nigerian people like they are just faceless and powerful things that nobody can see. Who are the oil marketers? Who are the importers? Who is paying them? And how much they make it look so stupid, and Nigerians look so stupid that nobody can tell you who they are paying the money to, because they are paying the money to themselves. It is a big racket, a very, very terrible racket. So the $2 billion was shared among themselves so as to make sure that the petrol price no past 650. So when that money finished, because that's their way of defending Naira. Because if the petrol importers, they need to buy dollars. So instead of them going out there to go and buy dollars for 1,500, 1,800, and then they would have to sell the petrol to you for 1,800 naira per liter. This Tifnubu criminal government, they decide to go and borrow money that they use the $12 billion crude oil as collateral for. All right? So the money don't finish. And they had to find another means. This is the first one. The World Bank the IMF, the two of them, in the last 11 months alone, right, they have carved out over $4 billion for Tifnumbu's government. 4 billion, over 4 billion. None of you can tell me what that money has been used for inside that Nigeria. Those who took 2 billion and shared it, loan, they did not put that money on your refinery. They were even telling you, Dangote refinery will start working in December 2023. They started showing videos. They started posting pictures. They started this or that. Oh, scam, propaganda. And now they are telling you that the Kaduna refinery, the Port Harcourt refinery, they should start work before the end of this year. They were supposed to start work in December 2023, last year, 4 months ago. And I was here, I said, nah, lie did they tell you? Why they are telling all this lie, I don't know. Because it's going to catch up eventually. All of this artificial patch makeup, they are all going to fall apart soon. You think I didn't wish you well. Some of you felt like, oh, you never wish Nigeria well. The people that does not wish Nigeria well are the people that I expose and talk about all the time. And when you come here to ask me, then what is the solution? The solution is this. Stop believing them and defending them. Because olórí burúkú ló pọ̀ jù nínú ẹ̀yin wèrè ajíyàjẹ́ yìí. Olórí burúkú ló pọ̀ jù nínú yín. APC ẹgbẹ́kẹ́gbẹ́. You are suffering in the decisions they are making. All of their decisions are totally anti-human. You are their victims. So instead of you turning to me and trying to see what you can do or say to make me stop talking about them or raising the alarm, you should stop. First, stop believing or defending them. Because sooner or later, their actions and inactions will kill you. We are all awaiting victims. I don't wish anybody evil or bad. By exposing those who are not wishing you anything, they are actually doing things that are destroying you. So you have to stop believing them. That's the first solution. What is the way forward? By the time you stop believing them, then you begin to get irritated by all the things they are doing or they have done to you. That is the first solution. People believe that before you will see a physical revolution, you need to first, before the physical revolution will manifest, we must build the mental revolution. The mental revolution starts from where you begin to see your place in the world that these criminals are creating. They are the enemies of Nigeria, not me. Because my wish can't change anything. When the sworn characters, the criminals, your criminal leaders, and their actions will continue to put the lives of millions of you at risk. Millions of us, including those who don't want to have anything to do with these rogues. So they've taken all of that. And they said they were defending the Naira. How do you defend Naira, my guy, when you are not investing in your own industries? When your power system, your electricity grid in Nigeria continue to collapse like person where they suffer warapa, epilepsy. You cannot wish yourself out of this misery. You have to dig yourself out of it. You have to what? You have to walk yourself out of it. And by walking your way out of it means you have to actually put in the work. You don't wish. Wishes don't change. Wishes don't pay bills. Because if it is wishes, you don't wish Nigeria well. You, Dismayegu, you are enemy of Nigeria. How am I enemy of Nigeria? When I am not the one who have taken the money meant for pensioners, money meant for education, money meant for infrastructure, businesses that are folding up out of this, failing economic policies of your leaders. How is my wish the problem? And their actions is not the problem. But I understand, though. Listen, I'm not asking you not to abuse me, because that doesn't change anything. I'm just trying to speak directly to that your subconsciousness. There is something inside you. No matter how dark they've taken your heart, or no matter the darkest place they've taken your heart to. See, look at me very well. There's still always something inside you that is human, that will continue to remind you that this adventure of defending your criminal leaders and thinking everybody calling them out is the enemy. There is something inside you. There's a voice inside you. There's a leftover humanity inside you that I'm speaking to. And I'm speaking to it not because I want you to stop being foolish or stupid or being a slave. It's because I'm speaking directly to it, because it will be the one to remind you when nobody is there. It will remind you of your culpability, of your involvement, of how you enable these rogues to bring upon this hardship, this death upon you and every other innocent people around you. So I'm speaking directly to that subconsciousness. Because if wishes were horses, they say beggars will ride. If to wish for something, for example, now let's say wishing for something great or something good. If not so, the world works, Abba, do you know how many of you have been wishing for Nigeria to work? Oh man, I wish for this country to work. I really wish for. Because wishes don't build countries. Putting in the work does. Rome was not built in a day. True. Because the Romans were working every day in order to achieve a built Rome. Those who were building Rome were not stealing the sand, stealing the cement, stealing the iron rod, stealing the block, and stealing everything they could steal, including the workers' payments. No, they were not. They were all dedicated. And saying Rome was not built in a day, for those who have been spending their every day dismantling a contraption called Nigeria, failed the people, failed the country, but they still want to hold the title of distinguished this, excellencies that, honorable this, royal that, and all other titles they give to themselves, this bunch of Uluri Burukus parading themselves as your leaders. Their actions is what actually changes things, not the wishes of people like you or people like me. Because if you think, say, I wish Nigeria bad, what about you that wish Nigeria good? Do you not wish Nigeria good? How come your own wish is not working? How come it is my own wish for exposing the criminals who are destroying the place? How come it is my own wish that you think you don't wish Nigeria better? You do not, right? So yes, over $8 billion borrowed. Nobody can say what they use the money for. Okay? Over 3.8 trillion naira confirmed printed. Nobody can say what they use the money for. Okay? But you are hearing them. They are expecting another $2.5 billion from the World Bank before September this year. It is another loan. There has been no single investor that comes and says, major investor coming to Nigeria. None. Because there is no incentive to really want to come and invest in that contraption without Tifnubu and his gang attempting to take over your business or take over your investment, which is the real deal of these rogues. So I'm going to have to ask you if you know, do you know what they used the 3.8 trillion naira for? Of course not, you don't. Even if they try to make up something to tell you, indeed, it will never make any sense because there is no physical thing to show for it. But they are those in charge of the government. They can cook up anything. And as for the Lagos Abobakus, the Oshogbo Alimajiris, the humbled slaves, the sophisticated morons, the crumb eaters, the crumb chasers, the ass lickers, the Agbadorians, as well as the Agbederians as well, they can't show you that, but they will tell you to remain positive, to remain expectant, while the rest of your lives are mortgaged right before your very eyes. Yeah, very eyes. With the belief that what would you do? What can you do? Because that's the same thing with Yaya Bello. You see that of Yaya Bello? It is so ridiculous that there are more than 100 Yaya Bellos scattered. Scattered all over the entire rotten system of Nigeria. I mean, we were here when the supposed accountant general of Nigeria, Mukhtar something, that Kano guy, stole 189 billion naira. Accountant general, which can move away. In Nigeria, we are also a witness, okay, to a guy who is now the minister of state, Matawale, who also looted over 100 billion naira from Zamfara, poor state, the poorest state in Nigeria, after Bayelsa, supposed oil producing state, by the way. A ridiculous place, right? So we have seen them taking so much. So, but for that of Yaya Bello, we will do some analysis, especially for the bond voluntary slaves in Nigeria, who are easily, Nigerians don't really hate corruption. I love this line. And I'm so happy that a lot of people are using the line very well these days, right? Nigerians don't hate corruption. They don't hate, okay, hang on, roll it back. Let's roll it back. Many Nigerians don't hate corruption. Many Nigerians don't hate oppression. Majority of them just don't like it if they are not the ones doing the corruption or benefiting from it, doing the oppression or benefiting from it. That is when they will scream, and you will be like, oh my God. Blessed the world won't end though. But when they are enjoying it, somehow, they are not the victims of all of this. They are either unbothered, not concerned as usual, or they love it. Because I've seen many times that typical Nigerians will call on their barbaric, lawless, criminal politicians in government to use force, use power on those and teach some people some lessons for trying to expose them. You know what I mean? I've seen Nigerians, they've done that. Man, DSS supposed to carry this guy. Do you know how many of them who have asked that I should be arrested, I should be deported, I should be jailed, simply because I am showing to them not only how they are destroying their lives. Every now and then I am showing to the world the people responsible for the destruction, the division, and the bloodbath in Nigeria. And then the victims, they turn around. You, this guy, they're supposed to arrest this guy. Arrest me for what? They're supposed, man, one of them, not one of them. I've actually seen some Lagos Abobakus who have boldly written it on my own platform and said, I hate this guy along. I hate this guy with passion. Why would you hate me with passion? Kí ni mo ṣe fún ẹ? Kí ni mo ṣe fún ẹ? Wèrè. Because I am talking about the criminals and giving you the proof of how they are destroying the lives of millions of people, including you or your loved ones. Then, I hate this guy with passion. Honestly, people, they write time for my distance. The Olori Buruku Omo Alis, who are using left hand to point at their father's houses in Yoruba land, they turn around and call me Omo Ali because of Tifnumbu, the druggie, heroin trafficker. Heroin trafficker in Yoruba land. They say something about, education is something we carry them like bread and butter. Man, not like you. Until the Olori Burukus who don't have value education took over the reign of governance in the western region of Nigeria. And then they turned us into Agbero. And they want a lot of us to be Agberos. All right, sirs. Baba, anybody wey dey beef you, you go chop their rice for their wake keep. Anybody wey dey talk say make you no shine, my honorable, they no go shine. Baba, remember your boys, so we dey here. That is a graduate that failed